Hello, my name is Dan, welcome to my Why Are Video Games Amazing series, where I take one moment from a video game and analyze it to prove that the video game I'm talking about is amazing. Today I will be looking at Red Dead Redemption 2, and one of the random encounters that you can find through map exploration. Enjoy. So, I was exploring the map to find some of those dreamcatcher thingies scattered around. Normally, I don't really partake in hunting collectibles anymore, but Red Dead 2 is so graphically beautiful and such a joy to explore, I really don't mind riding around for hours without any particular goals. This is obviously a big plus to some gamers when the game has amazing graphics, but this is not the point. So, I was riding around and I found this hut. Normally, these are abandoned and full of loot, so I decided to go in. Red Dead 2 is full of these amazing locations that are not marked on the map, where you can find a hobbit's hut, a skeleton of a giant, and many other locations where the environment tells the story of the location. As I approached the house, I saw a fat man sat on the porch. There was something about the model design of this guy that told me he isn't just a nameless NPC. You don't see many reused character assets in this game, at least not unless you look very closely. But the way this man was dressed, as well as modelled, told me that this guy is obviously going to be a bit more than just an NPC. So I decided to greet him. Before I had the chance to open my mouth, the man greeted me on his land, which doesn't happen very often. Normally people just tell you to fuck off. The man's demeanour was really friendly, creepy in a way. In no time, a woman, assumingly his wife, popped her head out from the house, inviting us for dinner. She was also very friendly, in a swinger kind of a way. One of the ways in which Red Dead 2 excels is the character delivery and dialogue. So far, every character in the game had been well written and performed, which really allows the player to become invested in the stories being told in the game. Anyway, the pair retreated inside after having urged me to come in to dine with them. At this point, there's just me and the open door to an event that could potentially get really weird. I had the choice to just ride off, but my curiosity got the better of me. I was wondering, are they a couple of swingers? Are they serial killers or cannibals looking for prey? Or are they just a bunch of fine folks looking for some friendship and my cynicism is the only problem here? I entered the house. Straight opposite the entrance door, I saw a big picture of a woman with long and sharp facial features and black hair, a bit like someone you would see in a Japanese horror film but American. This picture serves as an example of a point I made earlier regarding storytelling for environment, but more on that later. Noting the picture in my memory, I joined the man in the dining room. He said that his wife had gone upstairs to her bedroom to change her clothes into something more appealing since she was having a guest. He urged me to go and check on her. I found it quite odd that the man told me to go check on his wife while she's getting dressed, and so did Arthur. However, the fat man reassured us to not be shy and make ourselves at home. It would be weird to implement sex in Red Dead 2 now after the game had made it obvious to me that sex just does not happen for Arthur. Up until this point, I haven't encountered anyone to fornicate with. No dates, no hookers, no romance. I mean, Arthur has a crush, but he can't really do much with her other than some missions related to her family. Or at least I can't do it yet. I head on upstairs, since this seems like the only course of action to take. I enter the room and the woman is just about done getting ready. I go like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to intrude like this. To which she goes, nah, don't worry, it's only looking and that's fine. Tells me to go back to her husband downstairs as she will come down in just a second. Back in the kitchen, the man tells me to grab a seat and get ready for the meal. As I sat down, the woman entered the room and she started serving the food. We begin to eat and they keep asking me how do I like the dish. At this point, I am reassured that this whole friendly swinger thing was just a knack to ease me up, so that they can serve me human meat and then stab me in the throat to become dinner for Sunday. As we eat, they mention something about how this used to be a big pig farm, back in the day when the parents were still alive. Both mine and Arthur's face dropped in this moment. There was clearly some romance between these two and they turned out to be siblings. So now they are not only serial killer cannibals but also inbred, in a kind of a Hills of Ice way. They offer a drink or some good shit apparently. First shot had been had, the drink is clearly spiked. They pour another one and I have the option to leave it now, but I am too far gone. I want to know where this rabbit hole goes. I mean, at the end of the day, what is the worst that can happen? They'll kill me and I'll have to reload the game, take my money. I take the shot, and then the next, and after a moment, there's a blackout. Red Dead 2 is very good at immersing you in the character. You can talk with pretty much anyone in this game in either a positive or a negative way. So for example, you can say, hello, good day, or you can say, hi, your hat looks fucking stupid. Even though these choices are very limited, they do provide the sense of belonging in that world. If this game had some basic RPG elements, such as those in The Witcher 3 or maybe Far Cry games, I believe that Red Dead 2 would become a very successful action real-time role-playing game. After the blackout, I hear the two talking. They plan to take all my cash and dump me behind the mother. After a while I wake up, but in a ditch with a corpse laying on top of me. I assume this is the mother. Climbing out of the pit, I realise I can go back to the house and take vengeance, as well as my cash back. The house is still marked on the map, but I remember where it was. Normally at this point, some games would have treated this event as a side quest, telling you exactly where to go and what to do. But this is not how Red Dead 2 does things. The game trusts the player to find the way back to the hut, and that the players have this emotional capacity to actually understand that something wrong has happened and they will want to take their own revenge. I head back in the middle of the night. The door is open. I find the sister cooking in the kitchen. She notices me and pulls out a gun. Unlucky for her, I already entered the house with a gun in my hand. She takes a bullet to her chest and lands next to a table we ate at not too long ago. The brother is still to be found, but I hear him walking around on the top floor. As I approach the staircase, he has already made his way down, holding a gun. With my dead eye meter full, I stop the time to shoot him in the head before he manages to kill me. The fat man falls on the floor like a sack of rocks. So now I begin looking for my money. The combat in Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't particularly all that interesting. You kind of just run up to a cover, you press the button to go into cover, you auto-aim to an enemy, you shoot the enemy, and you repeat that over and over again until all enemies are dead. The Deadeye mechanic allows you to go into the slow motion like you would in Fallout 4, where you can pick enemies that you want to shoot and pick exactly where you want the bullets to go, and like release the time and just see the bullets fly wherever you wanted them to go. Doing this makes the player feel very OP and a bit like Neo from the Matrix, but it does make the combat stand out a bit more among other third-person shooting games. I explore the entire house and all furniture within it, but I don't find anything. The only item worth of noting is the family photo from the time when the two were just children. On the picture, they are posing with the parents, who both had their eyes scratched out from the photograph. The mother on this picture is clearly this woman on the big portrait you see as you enter the house. I head downstairs, again to find a photograph of the mother. It doesn't light up in the Deadeye slow motion view, which normally highlights all interactive objects in your proximity. However, as I approach the picture, I can investigate it and take it down. That moment was really cool because it made the player use environmental awareness and understanding of the location to progress further. Normally, I would rely quite often on the objects being highlighted for me in the slow motion mode, like an idiot. But here, I had to use my own deductions to find my way around. For the entirety of this adventure, I felt in danger because I never knew where the hit was going to come from. Were they cannibals, killers, sex maniacs, or just a lonely couple who forgot how to socialize without seeming odd? I simply had no idea until it all went down. Every move I made in that house before the dinner was made in anxiety and second guessing. So this little adventure really made the game stand out because somehow it managed to incorporate all of the pros of the game into one small package that wasn't even marked on the map. The world of Red Dead 2 is really worth exploring because it's so beautiful and there are so many secrets to be found. During this little adventure, the game managed to show detective mechanics, exploration, good characters, good acting, combat and storytelling. And this is why Red Dead Redemption 2 is amazing.